Well, hi you beautiful New Zealanders. In today's video we're going to talk about this guy, Takutā Whereus, who's a Maori Party MP. And I've talked about Whereus in fantasy land, that's treaty fantasy land, so let's crack into it. First up, let's watch his speech by Whereus in Parliament. He made this speech during the debate about the punishment handed out to the Maori Party MPs for their haka in Parliament. Remember that? So watch this.
Let me now address the root cause of this debate. This debate is not about a haka. It is not about a suspension. It's not about the interruption of a vote. It is at its heart about the fact that this House continues to ignore Te Tiriti o Waitangi. That this House continues to ignore Māori sovereignty. And that this House continues to ignore all of the constitutional rights that flow forth from those two things. The fact of the matter is simple. Without Māori sovereignty, there is no Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Without Te Tiriti o Waitangi, there is no constitutional right for the presence of the Crown in this part of the world. And without the constitutional right, there is no Parliament. Therefore, I say to this House, you can only keep your head buried in the colonial sands of time for so long.
Well, there you go. That's one of his classic speeches, and so let's analyse this. Whereus makes a number of statements in this 1-minute clip which must be fact-checked. These statements flow from the mouths of all the Te Party Maori MPs with monotonous regularity, so it's important to address them. So we just got to look at what he says and then fact-check it. So why are we doing this? Well, it shows the extent to which the Maori Party live in what I call treaty fantasy land. So let's examine each of these statements one at a time. So statements 1 and 2, he says, this House continues to ignore Te Tiriti o Waitangi, that this House continues to ignore Maori sovereignty. Those are two statements he makes. Well, what does he mean? He means three things. One, he means the current government is ignoring something in the treaty, that is not doing what they promised to do. Number two, he's saying that Maori did not cede sovereignty in the treaty. And number three, he's saying that Maori are therefore the rightful sovereigns of this country, and the current government is illegitimate and must be deposed. That's what he's saying. So what are we to make of this? Well, let's just take one statement at a time. This House continues to ignore Te Tiriti o Waitangi. To know whether this is true or not, to see if the government is ignoring something in the treaty, we need to look at the treaty. Specifically, we need to know what the British agreed to do in the treaty and what Maori agreed to do in the treaty. So let's recap. The treaty has 5 parts: a preamble, Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, and an affirmation. Those are the 5 parts of the treaty. So the following is what each party agreed to. So here's the treaty, what the British agreed to and what Maori agreed to. Well, in the preamble, the British agreed to set up a government for Maori and non-Maori. Well, what did Maori agree to? Maori gave permission for the British to set up that government. No problem. Article 1. What the British agreed to was to take over New Zealand completely and forever. What did Maori agree to? Maori agreed to let the British take over completely and forever. So no issue. Article 2, Sentence 1. The British promised to protect Maori in the ownership of their land, dwellings and property for as long as they owned them. Now, what people don't realise is that Maori went on to sell 92% of their land. So all the British promised Maori at this time in 1840 was that they were saying to them, whatever land you own and whatever properties on that land and whatever chattels are on that land, we're going to protect them from the French or the Americans or other tribes coming and stealing them. That's just all they meant. So what Maori agreed to, Maori welcomed the offer from the British to protect their land, dwellings and property. Of course they would. Well, Article 2, Sentence 2. The British would have the exclusive right to buy land from the chiefs. Well, the chiefs agreed to sell that land exclusively to the British, no problem. Article 3. The British agreed to grant Maori British citizenship. Well, Maori were excited about becoming British citizens. They knew this would give them equal citizenship before the law with British citizens. That is to say, access to all the privileges and benefits of being British citizens. They couldn't believe it. It was like winning lotto. And the affirmation, if the chiefs signed the treaty, the British agreed to do what they promised. If the chiefs signed the treaty, the Maori agreed to do what they promised. See, this is what they signed off on. Well, let's just summarize this. In summary, this is what the British agreed to do in the treaty. Set up a government, take complete control of the country, including all its people and all its resources, protect Maori land, dwellings and property, buy Maori land, grant Maori British citizenship, and British agreed to do what they agreed to do if Maori signed the treaty. Well, how did they go? Well, the British have set up a government. We're seeing that right now. That's what the beehive is. We've done it. Number 2, they took complete control of the country. They've done that as well, except they're now starting to give away land and assets to Maori like there's no tomorrow, which is wrong, which is actually a breach of the treaty. Article 2, Sentence 1, did they protect Maori land, dwellings and property? Absolutely. We still have that same protection today. If you have a problem with somebody breaking into your property at your home, then you can call the police and they will come and protect your property, your land, your dwellings and your property. Well, they're supposed to. So that's the way it is, and they've done that. Article 2, Sentence 2, did they buy Maori land? Yes, they did. Article 3, did they grant Maori citizenship? Yes, British citizenship. Yes, they did. And the affirmation, the British agreed to do what they agreed to do if Maori signed the treaty. Yep. So the British have fulfilled their obligations in the treaty absolutely to the letter. It's been completed. They've done it. Well, this statement is completely untrue then. This house, he says, continues to ignore Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Well, this is just BS. The British kept to their part of the agreement down to the finest detail. That is to say, they have honoured the treaty. But have Maori kept their part of the agreement? Absolutely not. How so? Well, by becoming British citizens, Maori agreed to obey British law. That's what it was. That's what the deal was. One of those laws is to obey and honour the government. Maori have not done that. Now they're competing with the government, aiming to depose it, take it over. Well, what do we call this behaviour? It's treason. So, Dr. Robinson has written a brilliant book on this subject. He analyses all the Maori rebellions and land confiscations in our history in detail and comes to a stunning conclusion. It's Maori who are ignoring their treaty obligations. It's Maori who are breaking the treaty. He says in his book, all treaty settlements are based on the Crown having broken the treaty. Since that is not so, in other words, the Crown did not break the treaty, all such settlements are a fraud. There is no justification for the continued existence of either settlements or the Waitangi Tribunal. And there's the reference. You need to get that book. It's a fantastic book. And it just counters all the narrative that we hear from the media and from Maori activists about, breaking the treaty and honouring the treaty and so on. Because what they're saying is just BS. That's all it is. Treason was abolished in New Zealand, whether you knew it or not, on December the 26th, 1989, with the enactment of the abolition of the death penalty in 1989. In that same year, a conscience vote in Parliament resulted in the abolition of the death penalty for treason. My view is that it ought to be retained, should be reinstated. See, because now there's no punishment for treason, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing. People can seek to bring down the government with impunity. So what about Ferris's second statement that he made in that clip we saw? He says that this house continues to ignore Maori sovereignty. Well, there's another big one. So what are we to make of this one? Well, are Maori the sovereign rulers of New Zealand or not? Well, of course they're not. Just ridiculous. This is pure fantasy, just like his first sentence. Both his sentences are they're just BS from start to finish. Over and over, Maori radicals say that they did not cede sovereignty. Yet, they cannot produce any proofs. Not one. Not a skerrit. They just have opinions, that's all. So I've written a piece entitled 13 Proofs that Maori ceded sovereignty. It's a really good article. Be sure to read this. I'll put a PDF file of this document in the description of this video. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. It really helps us. And please, the best thing you can do is actually pass on these videos to other people you know and start talking about them so that we can get this out and really educate the public about what's going on in New Zealand. Okay guys, see you next time. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realized that only about a third of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. The little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.